What is up, guys? Welcome to my top 10 Arrowverse Moments of the Week, episode 24. Before I get into the video, though, make sure to follow me on Twitter. Link is in the description for better daily updates on my videos, as well as daily polls on the Arrowverse. So this week consisted of Supergirl Season 3, Episode 16, titled Of Two Minds, The Flash, Season 4, Episode 20, titled Therefore She Is, and Arrow, Season 6, Episode 21, titled Docket Number 11194173. So with that in mind, let's go over the top 10 Arrowverse Moments of the Week, episode 24. Number 10 is Marlize leaves Clifford on The Flash. This is something that the season has been building up to for a while, and it was pretty satisfying with this scene with Marlize actually leaving Clifford, which will probably be like a very big plot point throughout the rest of the next 3 episodes of the season. The reason it's so low on the list, though, is because it wasn't like a big moment or anything. It was just Marlize saying, "Clifford, I'm leaving you," and then she says, "You're nothing without me," and then she just leaves. That's really all there was to it. It didn't feel like the episode was building up to it. There wasn't a lot of tension involved with that scene. But still, either way, it was a pretty cool scene. It wasn't amazing or anything, but it was a pretty cool scene, and I think it deserves a slot on this list, even though it's only at number 10. So number 9 is Diaz sets out to kill Oliver Queen on Arrow. The reason this moment is so low on the list is because I didn't like how Diaz didn't kill Laurel. I mean, it made sense because he is kind of in love with her, I think, but Laurel did just betray him, so it was pretty expected for him to kill her. I didn't want him to kill her, but it didn't really make sense that he didn't. But either way, I think this scene definitely gets me really excited for the next 2 episodes of the season. The way that Diaz phrased it, like he's going to Plan B to kill Oliver Queen, it gets me pretty excited for the battle between Oliver Queen and Ricardo Diaz in episode 22 and 23. And that's really the only reason this moment is on the list, is because it gets me even more excited for the next 2 episodes than I already was. Number 8 is Tommy Merlin / Green Arrow / Christopher Chance / Human Target interrupts the trial on Arrow. This is just a really cool moment. It would have been higher on the list if it wasn't spoiled in the trailer, but either way, it was a very cool moment with the trial being interrupted by Green Arrow, and I predicted that it's probably Human Target, but I didn't know for sure, so that was a cool reveal. It wasn't the best reveal because I did predict it, but it was a pretty cool reveal that it was Christopher Chance the whole time, and I really like how they use his abilities. It might be a little too similar to how how Barry got out of his trial back in episode 11, I think, of the Flash, where Ralph became DeVoe in that one scene. It might have been a little too similar with Christopher Chance becoming the judge later in this episode, but that's not the moment I'm talking about. I'm talking about the moment where Tommy Merlin, or Christopher Chance dressed as Tommy Merlin, dressed as the Green Arrow, interrupts the trial, and the testimony that follows is also pretty interesting. In general, the testimonies in this episode were great, and there are definitely more testimonies further down on the list. Number 7 is Team Flash and Gypsy fight the Thinker. So this moment right here, I think it's the second fight scene between Team Flash and Gypsy against the Thinker. It's the second fight scene in this episode. This fight scene just visually looked really cool. The lighting in the room mixed with like Flash's powers and Gypsy's powers and Vi's powers, it looked really cool. And I also like the fact that Team Flash didn't seem completely overpowered by the Thinker. I think that's kind of a problem they've been having lately, where the Thinker is just too powerful for Team Flash to deal with. They can't get anywhere near him unless if Barry uses his flash time ability, which would make him overpowered. I mean, he kind of is, but I like the fact that the Thinker wasn't completely overpowering on the Flash in this scene where the Flash threw lightning at him and knocked him down, and I just really liked it. It looked cool, and I like the fact that the Thinker wasn't completely overpowering on the Flash and Team Flash, as well as Gypsy. Number 6 is, and I said there's going to be more testimonies down on the list, is the Diggle / Dinah testimonies on Arrow. The reason these are both on the same moment is because that's how it was cut in the episode. It was cut between Diggle and Dinah being asked the same questions, answering it differently. I loved how they did that, and it made for a very exciting scene, and it made the rest of the trial more exciting. The testimonies combined with Tommy Merlin / Green Arrow interrupting the trial, combined with just the trial in general, made for an actual really exciting and intense episode, which is not something I expected from a trial episode, which usually is pretty exciting, but not this exciting. And it's moments like these where Diggle and is where it's cutting between Diggle's testimony and Dinah's testimony that really made for an exciting trial. And then Dinah pleading the fifth at the end was also pretty cool in my opinion. So it's just in general these moments that made the trial really exciting. Number 5 is James and Wynn's scene on Supergirl. This is the only moment on the list from Supergirl because it was a pretty bad episode. I think I give it like a 6 point something out of 10, which is not a good score, so that's the reason there's only one moment on the list. But this moment was actually very good and definitely the best part of the episode. It was definitely the highlight of the episode. The scene where Wynn is sick and James is comforting him. It was a really well acted scene by both actors, especially Jeremy Jordan, who I think has been killing it this season as an actor. And James was also, I don't remember his name, I think Mecca Brooks, the actor who plays James, was also very good in this scene. And just the acting and the emotion from the two actors made for a very great, well acted and emotional scene, and definitely the highlight and best part of the episode. Number 4 is The Flash runs to the North Pole on The Flash. So I don't actually know if it's the North Pole. The reason I think it is because there's snow everywhere, there is a lot of snow at the North Pole, but really it's because of the aurora, which usually occurs at the North Pole, but I'm not 100% sure it's the North Pole. But I like this moment because it's an interesting look at, it's an interesting use, is what I meant to say, of the Thinker's powers, of using his interdimensional portal thingies to make the Flash run to the North Pole. It was a very cool shot, like it visually looked cool, which is a running theme for great moments on the Flash this week, as well as in general this season, of just visually a really cool shot of Barry running to the North Pole and then running back in like half a minute, which was a cool thing to me because he ran like across the world in like a minute, which I mean isn't as fast as he's ever gone, but it was nonetheless a very cool scene because visually it looked cool. It was a really interesting take and look and use of the Thinker's powers. Number 3 is the Mystery Girls revealed to be a speedster on The Flash. This was a great moment to me because, one, it gives more into who the Mystery Girl is, and with the confirmation that she's a speedster as well as what her lightning is, like the color, it's basically confirming that she is Dawn Allen, the daughter of Iris and Barry Allen, which is pretty exciting to me. The reason the electricity shows that is because her electricity she has 2 colors, which is really abnormal for a speedster. Usually they have just one color, but I guess if you're the offspring of 2 speedsters, then you're gonna have both their colors. She's not really the offspring of 2 speedsters, but we saw Iris's speed when she temporarily got speed, and it was purple. And then Barry's speed is yellow, and Dawn Allen, presumably the Mystery Girl, had yellow and purple speed or lightning, so it looked like she is the daughter of Iris West and Barry Allen, which is pretty exciting to me, and I want to see more of that. So this reveal that she's a speedster is definitely a great moment, and it deserves a spot on the list. Number 2 is Oliver and Renee make amends on Arrow. This is a great moment because it is so satisfying to see two of our protagonists this season, after having like conflict between the two for like half the season, ever since episode 9, and then them two finally making amends after this whole storyline of Renee testifying against Oliver in court, like when it was brought up in episode 9. All of that is over, and it's just so satisfying to see these two characters make amends, and it makes for a really nice moment in the end where Renee like comes up with a plan to get Oliver out of his situation, and then because of that, Oliver forgives Renee for testifying against him. And like I said, like I keep on saying, I said in my review, I said in this video a couple times already, it's a very, very satisfying moment, and I think because of that, it deserves a really high place on this list. It's just so satisfying. But there is another moment from Renee too. Renee is actually really great this episode, which isn't what he is normally, but I think because of it was really because of the conflict between Oliver and Renee. So the fact that this moment really completed the conflict and got it over with, and they finally made amends, I think he's going to be going back to being a good character like he was for the first 9 episodes of the season, as well as season 5. And number 1 is another moment from Renee, and that's Renee's testimony on Arrow. This is such a great scene because it is so well acted from Rick Gonzalez, the actor who plays Rene Ramirez. It's such a well acted scene. His realization that Diaz has Zoe in the trial area, in the courtroom, and then you see the look on his face of he's actually scared and he doesn't know what to do, and then Oliver reassures him that he should say that Oliver is the Green Arrow. It's a great, really well acted scene from the actor who plays Renee, as well as a really tense, emotional scene. It's mostly tense, and it scenes like these, like I said, the scene with Green Arrow / Tommy Merlin / Human Target, the scenes with Dinah and Diggle's testimony, and scenes like that made this episode so exciting and so intense and so tense, like this scene really was. So in general, I thought this scene was the best moment of the week because it was so well acted by Renee, as well as the fact that it really, just like the scene where Oliver and Renee make amends, it really closes the conflict between the two, because this is the whole conflict between the two since episode 9. It was that Renee was going to testify against Oliver in court that he is the Green Arrow, and now you see that actually happening in court. It just makes for such a tense and intense and really well acted moment. But anyway, let me know what your favorite moments were in the comments down below, as well as ranking the 3 episodes of the week. For me, my ranking is from worst to best: Supergirl, The Flash, Arrow. But let me know what your ranking is in the comments down below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.